coming to you all the way from Niagara. I've done plenty of shows with him. He's a super funny dude.
Hey, let's
Watch out for the mic there, Tommy. Let's let him hear it. Tommy J. Warren, ladies and gentlemen.
How's everyone doing tonight? Right on. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. I drove 2.5 hours here, so please laugh. Tell you guys a little bit about myself. I just turned 49 years old. Well, thank you. So, you know, my bills come more a month than I do. Another thing about me is I have 7 kids. That's a true fact. I do have 7 kids. It's not my fault. I really enjoy playing with the box they come in. Growing up, I always knew I was a little different, a little weird. So I went out and I actually got tested and it came back that I had OCD. Well, growing up, as you grow up, things change and whatnot, and it did. So I went from having OCD to obesity. Hey, I'm not very good at push-ups, pull-ups, or chin-ups, but I'm really good at fuck-ups. I got that going for me. Earlier in the year, I was at a really heavy weight, dangerous. I was close to 300 pounds. My doctor told me I needed to start losing some weight, or I wasn't going to see 50. So I was like, well, shit, I better get my act together. So so far I've lost 37 pounds. Last week I was reading something. For every 35 pounds a man loses in weight, he gains an inch. Which is really good because now I can give my wife at least a solid ½ inch. Yeah, it's been a little difficult, right? So yeah, I am married, very happily married, thankfully, because there's no way I would survive in the dating world. Like when I was growing up, being 49. Anybody here, 50 and older, right? And you were growing up and you were a kid. If you called a kid an ass licker, that was a great insult, right? Like you were the champ that day. That was a fucking choice on a dating app. You could be at a party talking to someone about eating ass. You double dip a chip, they'll fucking kill you. Probably because they know what you were just talking about. So, because I have OCD, I have a real strong tendency to hyper focus on things. And a few months ago, I came in across this one subject that all of us guys are going to want to know about. We're going to get to it at one point in our lives. You look like yes, edible underwear. That's what I'm talking about. So I did all kinds of research, right? I'll tell you right now, the strawberry and cherry are the 2 best flavors. The blueberry ones do leave a stain. So if you do go to the swimming park and you forget your swimming trunks, it's okay. No one's going to know. But I took my research a little further. And I found out if you wear the edible underwear for 3 days, they taste just like regular underwear. So I did that so you don't have to. Being a comedian in the Canadian comedy scene, we're not millionaires. A lot of us do this for fun. So me and my wife have been working a lot, really not crossing paths a lot. So I needed something for me. So I made my way down to the Love Shop. Having a look at things, right? And they sell these products. I mean, you can buy designer vaginas. Or for your younger generation, you can get designer pussies with your favorite porn star. I looked at the price of those things. Those fucking things are expensive. So I went to my second favorite place that I can buy things, Facebook Marketplace. And ironically, there is one. And I bought it. I'm giving free demonstrations outside on the street when we're done, if you guys would like to try. If you get past the rips and tears, it's not bad. It's a good, fun, solid 3 pumps. Well, you guys last longer than that? Lucky you, girl. So, I remember growing up talking to my grandfather. He was a very wise man. One thing he always told me, he says, "You're going to meet a woman. You're going to fall in love. That's not the one you're going to marry. You're going to marry the second one you fall in love with. But there's 2 ways to argue with her. Neither of them work, don't try. Would you ladies agree? It's not work, it's not smart arguing with a woman. They're looking at me like, just shut the fuck up. I like arguing with my wife all the time. Like the other day we got into a really huge fucking argument. Almost got divorced over it. Men, they don't understand the conversation you're having, right? Like if you guys are talking about something, unless you explicitly spell out what you're talking about, you can get in trouble. So I was washing the dishes and I looked at my wife and I said, it's been a long time. It's kind of getting a little bit. I think it's time you diet. Yeah. As the blade shot past my face, I looked at her and said, what? Like, I'm confused. It's time you dye your hair. Diet. She heard that I said she should go on a diet. I am glad I'm a fast talker, and that half-inch came in handy and calmed her down. But I seen death that night. Real close. Anybody here ever go out of their way to piss their wife off or partner? So I'm the only one. Okay. Ladies, this is for you. You're arguing with your man, and you want the argument to be over. Take your top off. Because it's scientifically proven men will lose 50% of their thinking ability when they see movies. 25% for each one. Now men, if you're arguing with your partner and you just want it to be over, just start stripping. Because when you get naked, they're going to get a headache, need a nap, and lose all interest. So women, if you're out in public and you guys are arguing, and it's just shut the fuck up! Take your top off, because if I see you, I will come and support you. That is very true. I know no one's done a religious joke here tonight. You guys want to hear a religious joke? Okay. If any of you are very religious, I apologize. I will kick myself out when I'm done. So, a couple Sundays ago, we were sitting at home, and you hear the knock on the door. So I open the door. There's two people standing there, wearing suits, carrying the Bible. I know why they're there. So I go, hello. And the girl looks at me and she goes, have you found Jesus? I looked her dead in the eyes, just like this. I said, you guys fucking lost them again? Start using bigger nails. Like add some chains, because the rocks you're using aren't working if you keep losing the guy. Oh, I'm so glad you guys laughed. They're Italian. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Thank you so much for thank you for laughing at that. I appreciate that. So I already did the whole diet joke. Apparently my hour was up. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little something about me as I'm wrapping up my set. A few years ago, I got a phone call from a doctor who told me that I had advanced colon cancer and I needed some surgery. Need to change some things in order to survive, and I did. I went ahead and did it all, and I'm cancer-free. I'm here. So in doing that, I have to go for a yearly physical, a very in-depth yearly physical. I get violated every year. I'm starting to like it. I think when Dan's asked if we're doing some gay things, I'm like, does getting a camera shoved up your ass every year count? Maybe next time I'll opt to go to sleep for that one. So last year during my exam, I'm in the doctor's room. I know the routine. I got to strip down naked. I get on the bed. I put my feet up in the stirrups. One thing you girls never told me is that shit locks. I wanted to see how far I could spread my legs out. I did one leg. I did the other leg. And then I was locked. I am a fat guy. I'm not flexible. So I'm like, well, this is fucked. And that's when my doctor walked in and seen me spread eagle with the balls hanging out. Right? So so he washed his hands. He's like, we're going to start with the hernia. You guys know when they check them in for a hernia? Grab your balls and they tell you to cough. So we did. after he washed his hands in the coldest fucking water in the universe. Men, what happens when you get cold? Not you. I know you're a fucking hung animal. How do you know that? It's true. I've seen the camera. I got footage. You said you didn't think I liked you. I got footage. It's just for sale after the show. So he's got a hold of my balls, and he goes, cough. Because his hands were so cold, caught me off guard. Best I could get is it. Right? So he looks up at me. I look down at him. Keep in mind where I am and how I'm laid out. He's right here. You ever involuntarily wink at someone? Oh yeah. I locked eyes with my doctor. It wasn't a little. It was a... Well, fuck. My doctor's mouth is now agape, holding my cock inches from it. So I'm like, I'm gonna make this awkward. I'm sorry you had to walk in and hear that. There'll be a visual on the show, on the street after the show if you want. So I'm like, okay, I gotta make this weird. So I put my hand on his head. He's still there. Right? And as he went to say, what the fuck? I ran my fingers through his hair. The great part is, I go back for my physical next week. I'm thinking, you know, like you guys remember the Jazzlers and the Jazzlers and all that from back in the 80s and 90s, all the emeralds and all that. I'm thinking of doing that when I go in. So when he goes to check it, you know, a couple of diamonds, a few pearls, maybe I'll put some glitter on there. If you were a doctor, wouldn't you like thank the patient for that? It took some time. It's like the one girl I dated, her daughter loved arts and crafts. She had her pap smear. She grabbed the wrong ring to give it away before she left. 2 stickers and a whole lot of glitter. She sent me the picture and went, what the fuck is this? And I was like, well, if I gotta tell you, there's some problems. So that is my time. I am from Niagara. If you guys are ever down that way, feel free to check me out. My website is on my shirt. I'm the guy that wears a face on a shirt. Thank you very much so much, Van, for having us, and thank you very much for Crazy Jacks for hosting us. Let's bring Van back up.
One second, guys. Technical difficulties.